any sport and any athlete will come across a troll or negative comments, no matter what sports.
It's nearly become normal to see people put down sport in different ways.
What we know about the online abuse directed towards women is that it tends to be much more sexually violent.
It's a little bit scary, isn't it? Because you think about how much social media is going to grow in the next 10 years, and hopefully as female athletes, our sports become in that time fully professional, and potentially with that it means more time on TV and more sponsorship and more sort of out there in the media. So does that mean that there's going to be more and more negative comments?
So this is an Australian first study, so we are looking at the prevalence and impacts of gendered online abuse directed at athletes in professional women's sport in Australia. So the aim is to find out what is the level of abuse generally, and what are the impacts, and what do the athletes want done about it.
There's that personal use side of social media, and then it's also, there is part of it that's sort of part of being an elite athlete and part of my job and what I do.
Women who are in the public eye, who are at the top of their game, who are competing, but at the same time they're also at work, they're working. And that this was an occupational health and safety hazard that often I think that their workplaces weren't taking seriously. And the people who experience the most abuse, those people are left to deal with it by themselves.
I mean, managing a social media account for a professional sporting team, you have to keep an eye on what's coming in. Directly after a game, that's where emotions are running high or low, depending on the result. So that's where people are going to, share their feelings in the most passionate way.
Our scoring, you always see comments on Instagram or Facebook that we're not scoring enough, or why women are playing footy.
This is an athlete's problem. Male athletes definitely have to deal with this as well. But what I would say is that there's a certain nuance to the commentary that female athletes have to deal with, which is turned up to a whole new level. A lot of it is sexualised in nature, a lot of it is violent in nature. These people are finding the lowest common denominator, and sometimes that's just going at someone because of their gender.
No ma'am, I'm fine.
I think it's just about trying to showcase what women's sport is and how great it is, and the only way we can do that is by getting people to games, by getting people to switch on the TV and watch it, and hopefully we can do that.
We can encourage organisations to start thinking about action planning, to start thinking about preventative measures, to start a broader conversation about gender equality in sport and about the status of women and women's sport in Australia.
For me, it's about being really proud of what female athletes can do and actually looking at the positives, because there are so many positives to our game. I'm the luckiest person in the world. I get to play netball with these amazing girls every single day, and yeah.
You want how we treat our athletes to reflect almost how we are as a society. We're letting our female athletes down. It should be an indictment on all of us, and it should be a shared responsibility to make that better.
Something needs to be done to help these young kids come through and play the sport that they want to play.
Australia has an international reputation for being a country absolutely obsessed with sport. People are always looking to Australia to be leaders in a sporting sense, and I think that this is an area where Australia can show real leadership.